everyone, I'm Film Club reporter Erin. This is the 4th afternoon of our live January webcast celebrating National Storytelling Week.
Hi, and I'm Daniel. I work for the schools team here at Film Club. And myself and Erin are very lucky today to be interviewing Ian Banks, who is an expert on British cinema and also lectures in film studies at Reading University.
Yep, we're here to talk to Ian about the work of the legendary director David Lean. So, hello Ian, and welcome to the Film Club studio.
Hello, I'm delighted to be here.
Hi. Before we get started, Ian, we've just got a few shout-outs to give to some of our schools that are watching right now. We've got Hege Primary School in Belper, Derbyshire, which I believe is Erin's school. So hello to all of Erin's classmates. We've got Millington Primary School in Northern Ireland. Hello to all you guys. And we've got Grundisborough Primary School in Woodbridge. Hello, and thank you for tuning in. Just to let you know, as we're live, you can kind of contact us with any questions you have for ourselves or Ian. So if you want to tweet us, email us or text us, those details will be running across the bottom of the screen.
Ian, could you tell us a little bit about who David Lean is?
Yes, David Lean started his career in British cinema as an editor. He then moved into directing during the Second World War with a playwright called Noel Coward, and they directed a film together called In Which We Serve, and then they continued to work afterwards, after World War II, and made a very famous British film called Brief Encounter. Noel Coward wrote the script for it and David Lean edited it. And Lean's career really sort of continued from success to success. And then in the 1960s, he really moved into what we'd call epic films, films which had an enormous budget and a big sense of scale. So his career was an almost kind of continuous success story from the 40s right up until his last film, A Passage to India, which he made in the mid-80s.
We've now got a voicemail question from Scarlett.
Hello, my name is Scarlett. I'm 10 years old and I'm from Hege Primary School. My question is, how did you become such an expert on the David Lean films?
Hi Scarlett, thanks for the question. I became an expert on David Lean by reading a lot about him and reading a lot about British cinema, but mainly by watching a lot of his films. There's really no, there's no kind of shortcut. It's just watching a lot of material and reading as much as you can.
Cool, thank you. David Lean is known for making some of Charles Dickens' novels into amazing films. So to fit in with National Storytelling Week, today we're going to focus on two of these such films, hence these kind of wonderful hats, which I've been told we have to wear. So we're going to focus on Oliver Twist and Great Expectations.
First is Oliver Twist, made in 1945. On your screen you'll see a picture from the opening scene of the film. Ian, can you tell us what the film is about and what's happening here?
Yes, Oliver Twist is the story of a young boy who's born in a workhouse and is then taken out of the workhouse and then later on runs away to London. And it's really it's a mystery story in some respects, Oliver Twist. It's all about Oliver finding out who he is and the mysteries about his past. On the screen we've got a still of right from the beginning of the film. And the beginning of the film starts actually before Oliver's actually born. So it begins with Oliver's mother, that's who you can see on the screen, making her way to the workhouse through a storm. And you can see as you look at the picture that it's a very, very carefully composed image. It's an image of pain, it's an image of suffering. She's heavily pregnant with Oliver as she fights her way through the storm. And you can see the way Lean's dramatically composed the image to enhance Oliver's mother's sense of pain and anguish.
Is the rest of the film like this?
It is a story about the darker side of London society in Victorian England. So yes, it's a story with lots of suffering, lots of pain, but it does have a happy ending. Oliver finds out who he is and is reunited with members of his family.
Great. I believe we've got another film clubber on the line who'd like to know a bit more about Oliver Twist.
That's fine.
Hi, it's Aoife from Ballycastle Integrated, and I was wondering, how do they like, in Oliver Twist, get it to be so dramatic and so tense?
Oh, it's a good question, Aoife. How do they get Oliver Twist to be so tense and so dramatic? It's really a combination of two things. The first thing is really the lighting. Oliver Twist is lit mainly in what we'd call an expressive way. So there are lots of contrasts between areas of light and areas of dark. So the lighting in Oliver Twist is very, very dramatic. The other thing that adds to the tension and the drama of Oliver Twist is the editing strategies. Of course, Lean began his career as an editor. He's a master storyteller. And the way he uses editing to tell the story really adds to the sense of drama and tension.
We now have another clip from the film. This is when Oliver first meets the Artful Dodger.
Who's the other one?
A new pal.
Come in. Wait here. Do you want him? Come on in. Here he is, Fagin. My friend Oliver Twist.
Very glad to see you, Ivor.
Did people think that David Lean was a good director back then, or is it only now that people think that?
It's another good question. Lean was always regarded as one of Britain's best and leading film directors, even back in the 40s. It helped a lot for his early career that he was working with people like Noel Coward. Noel Coward was a very famous British playwright in the 40s, so that helped to raise Lean's profile. I think, as is often the case with directors, with time, with hindsight, directors' reputations often grow with time as more books are written, as more people discover the films. And as the way we think about films changes, you know, we study films very, very closely now. Films are not just seen as a medium of entertainment. So I think Lean always had a good reputation as a filmmaker and as a director, but I think his standing, his reputation has increased as the years have gone on.
Thank you. Ian, you're proving to be a very popular guest with lots of students phoning in for you.
Pleased to hear it.
It's ringing off the hook. So we have another film clubber on the line wanting to know a bit more about the making of Oliver Twist.
Right.
Hi, I'm Leonardo. I've come from Knowsley Park Centre for Learning, and my question is how David Lean gets Bill Swiley in Oliver Twist to act so well and make himself so sweaty.
So I think for the viewers that couldn't hear that, he's asking about how David Lean got such a great performance out of the actor playing Bill Sikes.
Playing Bill Sikes, right, Leonardo. Good question. Good question. The actor playing Bill Sikes is a very famous British character actor called Robert Newton. And Robert Newton really established his career playing very excessive, very outgoing sorts of characters. Robert Newton was that sort of character in himself. So it was really careful casting. Lean very carefully cast Robert Newton in the role of Bill Sikes, knowing he'd bring all of that charisma to the role. As for how he gets him to look so sweaty on the screen, that's another really good question. It's a combination of two things. Spraying the actor down with water before you actually start filming. And then when you do film them, you light them in such a way that the drops of water are actually highlighted. So the drops of water actually look like sweat.
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
We're now going to watch the opening scene from Great Expectations. you tell us why this is such a great opening scene?
I can. This is a really good example, the beginning of Great Expectations, of the way in which Lean uses editing not just to tell a story, but to enhance a sense of mood and also to surprise and shock the audience. So at the beginning of the shot, you see young Pip running across the horizon. It looks like a very dark, dramatic shot. You can see the gallows where they would hang criminals from against the skyline. So we're in a world that is visually very dark, that looks very dark, but is actually morally very dark. It's a very cruel sort of world. And then we follow Pip into the churchyard, and we see the shots of the trees blowing in the wind, and you get those reaction shots of Pip as he looks up and looks around and looks very, very scared. And you get the sense that something's being disturbed because the wind is blowing the trees sway in the wind. And then, of course, Pip turns away, he gets scared, and he runs straight into the character of Magwitch, the convict. And of course, Magwitch has been in the churchyard all of that time watching him, but crucially, Lean hasn't shown us Magwitch. So when Pip gets a shock, so do we. So it's a great example of how you can use editing to control what your audience sees and how you can manipulate your audience, how you can use editing for dramatic effect.
And just to kind of go on from that, would you say that's kind of one of his better openings of his films?
It's certainly, I think one of the things that characterises a lot of Lean's openings during this period, the literary adaptations, is they're all very, very dramatic. The beginning of Oliver Twist is equally dramatic as Oliver's mother makes her way through the storm towards the workhouse. So I think they all have their qualities, but at this particular period, yes, all of the openings are extremely dramatic, I think.
Cool. And what have you got on your head there?
A new hat.
Oh, hello, Pip. Lovely. Well, I've just been slightly distracted by Erin's new headgear, but just to let you know, we've got another voicemail for you. This is from a student called Martha.
All right.
Hey, my name is Martha, and I am 6. I'm from Heath Primary School. My question is, when was it set?
When was it set? When was Great Expectations
Yes,
set?
Great Expectations.
Great Expectations. Great Expectations is set in the early 1820s, I believe. It's set during a period that's usually known as the Napoleonic Wars, just after the Napoleonic Wars. So it's set around about that period.
Cool, thank you.
I've got another voicemail from my classmate Phoebe now.
Right.
Hello, my name is Phoebe. I'm 11 and I'm from Heath Primary School. This is my question. Do you think it would look better in colour, or do you think you would still prefer it in black and white?
Oh, hi Phoebe, that's another good question. Do I think it would look better in colour or black and white? Well, me, I'm old school. I like my literary adaptations in black and white. And the films are lit specifically for black and white. And they're lit in a way that makes them more dramatic, makes them, I suppose, what we might say, expressive. So they're lit in such a way to contrast those areas of shadow with areas of light. So if you wanted to remake them in colour, then you'd have to light them in a very different way. Cool. Me, as I say, black and white.
And finally, another question from my school. This is Ruby.
Hi, I'm Ruby. I'm 11 years old and I'm from Heath Primary School. My question is, personally, what is your favourite David Lean film, Oliver Twist or Great Expectations?
Yeah, okay, so asking you kind of what's your favourite film out of Oliver Twist or Great Expectations?
Well, Ruby, was it Ruby?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hi, Ruby. Out of the two, I prefer Oliver Twist, mainly because I really like Robert Newton's performance as Bill Sikes in Oliver Twist. Yes, he brings that sense of threat and menace, which is so necessary, I think, to the role. So me, Oliver Twist.
Thank you.
Ian, it's been great talking to you, but sadly we've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming in and answering all of our questions.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I've just got just enough time to tell you about a competition we are running. Oh, yeah, lovely. No expense spared here at Film Club Towers. So would you like to win yourself 5 books, some of which are up there, cinema tickets for you and all of your family, and a popcorn maker for you and your film club? Well, I know I would you?
Yep.
How about you, Ian?
Definitely.
So that's all of it in. But this competition is open for film clubbers only. And this is thanks to Scholastic Books Clubs, and we're giving away all these great prizes through them. And all you need to do is review a film on our site that is based on a book. So just go to our Film Club website, go to the competition page for all of the info.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed hearing from Ian. Please do join us again tomorrow when we'll be interviewing cinematographer Tristan Oliver, who worked on Paranorman and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.